name is Samantha Farrow. I'm with the REN podcast today, and I'm with Chrissy Young. She's a REN client of ours, an amazing real estate agent, and she's going to give us the scoop. Hello, Chrissy. Thank you for joining us today.
Hi, Samantha. It's fun to be here.
Awesome. How's your day going so far?
It's going really good. It's been a busy morning, but it's better busy than bored.
That's true. That is very true. And it makes the day go by quicker, which is nice because it is Cinco de Mayo, everyone. Which is a little margarita and celebrate Mexican Day. It's Independence Day, I should say.
Yeah.
Well, Chrissy, why don't you take a few minutes and tell us a little bit about you and yourself and your family and anything you want to share with our listeners.
All right, let's see. Let's think about that. So I'm Chrissy Young. I'm from Utah. And I handle real estate, like all on the Wasatch Front, which unless you know Utah, you don't know what that is, but pretty much our major metropolitan area and all the suburbs that go along the line of the mountains. So
beautiful state, by the way.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
It's
we love it. All of the fun things we can do in 5 hours. It's awesome.
It's amazing.
I am a mom. I have 3 boys. So I am surrounded by boys in my life. So my husband and my 3 boys are the light of my life. So see, I get emotional just even thinking about it. But
I love it.
I've been married in September. It will be 28 years.
Wow.
And
what's your secret?
What?
What's your secret?
Love.
Having love.
Love your spouse, love your children,
patience, understanding, communication.
Yes, all of those great things. So yeah, I've been married 28 years. He's my better half in so many ways. We always joke that he's like my pit crew. Like I have all my like showings and everything set up, and then he's like, what's your day to day? And then he's like, has my lunch ready and different things. And like, I'll run in and run out. And it really feels like I'm my pit crew coming in. He's like, zoom, zoom, we change your tires, go back out. Okay, see
where's my coffee?
He takes such good care of me. He's so awesome. And then I have the 3 boys. So my oldest is 21. I have an 18-year-old graduating from high school. And then I have a 14-year-old. So 14 is not my favorite, but he's my baby. So it's working out pretty good with this one. So anyhow, and then what else? Just really quick, other side note about me. I love people. I love everything about people, and I love socializing. And I think I've taken that to a whole new level of just like socializing, community, and loving people and
compassion.
So
absolutely, I could pick up on that.
That's a little bit about me.
Yeah. You love people, you want to help people, and you have love to give to people and find their forever home.
Yes. It works really well for business, actually. And honestly, that was not my intent when I started all of this, but it worked out well. So,
well, speaking of that, like, when did you get into real estate and why? What was your reasoning?
So I was a stay-at-home mom. Well, so my background, like I went to college and I went into, business management, entrepreneurship, and then like an emphasis in marketing and advertising. I loved it. And I got into a sales career right out of college, working for, this is really going to date me, but I am older, but Franklin Covey, which was all the like day planners. We were like the guru company for day planners. Yeah. And time management classes.
Totally understand.
Yeah.
You said Lisa Frank. Nobody probably knows what Lisa Frank is anymore, but yeah. The planners. The
planners. So I would sell time management courses and did all that. And then when I had my first baby, I felt really strongly that I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom because I didn't have that opportunity as a child. My mom was a single parent and had to work. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom. And so I stayed home with my kids for 15 years, and my husband was in marketing and advertising too and everything. And he ended up having some major, major health issues that came up and were quite scary. And I just feel so lucky and so blessed because I was like probably 90% naive, but I was like, oh, I'll just go back to work and make the money, and
which isn't easy going from like stay-at-home mom to back to work. I mean, it's relief. I'm sure, because you're like, I could not be a mom right now. I could be.
Yes. Oh man, I was daydreaming about it. The couple of weeks before I started, I was like,
what outfit am I going to wear?
Yeah. I was like, I gotta go buy new clothes. And then I was thinking about, I was thinking about like, Dylan always went out to lunch. I could go to lunch.
I could go to lunch.
I could do all these things.
All these things. I could go on business trips. I can just.
I know. Who knows? Yeah.
I love it.
It's so true. And so and my youngest was in first grade, so he was in school all day. And so I felt like I achieved my goal. Like, what a blessing that I could be home with my kids until they were all in school all day.
Right.
And so then my husband and I switched roles, which I could make that sound like it was pretty, but it was not pretty. It was such a transition time. And I went to work for the Blogger Network, which is a sister company with the Six Sisters stuff. And now they've changed their name to something else. I can't remember, but I worked with them, and what I was doing is I actually was the program director and was bringing in I brought in the keynote speaker from Canva, which was the owner, and so I got to hobnob with some really awesome people, and it was a fun job. And my broker came to see if he wanted bloggers to advertise for him with real estate. And I met him for the first time, and we had this instant connection. And he was like, I don't want to do this, but I want you to come work for me. Would you come work for me? And I was like, well, for the right price.
Are you paying for my license, sir?
And so what was miraculous about that was just after 6 months of coming back full-time working and saying, I'm going to provide for my family, I'm going to do this. I was making as much money as my husband, because I negotiated what my husband was making. And so that was a huge blessing for us. And so then I started jumping into real estate, helping them do with their marketing, advertising, generating leads. And it didn't take me long to go, they're making a lot more money. Even though I was making good money, they were making a lot more money off my leads. So that I'm like,
what do we need to do?
Hilarious about this. I'm the PTA president at our elementary school at the time. Marketing director for a real estate company. And on top of it all,
what better way to market?
Yeah. And then on top of it all, I'm like, hey, why don't I get my real estate license?
Let me see. I got lots of connections. Let me tell you.
So that's kind of my story. So that was, it will be 6 years. It's been 7 years since I've worked in real estate, and it will be 6 years because I only did that marketing part for about a year. And
that's genius though. Hey, PTA moms out there, take note.
Yeah, seriously.
Market to your PTA mom.
A lot of money in real estate, I'm telling you. So
they do, because they have connections. They know people.
Yep.
Word of mouth.
Yep. So there's my story. So now I've been doing real estate for in June will be my 6th year.
And your husband's your partner with that?
No, my business partner, his name's Darren Kidd. I call him my work husband.
Okay, that's where the confusion was, because and
it's confusing because my husband's name's Dylan, so they're both D's, and yes,
because I'm like,
yeah, and I intertwine them all the time, and they've just learned to deal with it. But so Darren is my business partner. He's been doing real estate for 20 years. He was the top performing agent in our office until I got on. But it's kind of
some competition.
Yeah, and when I came on as real estate agent, you decided to get my license. He's just not stupid. I mean, he's a very intelligent man, and he's like, okay, she knows what she's doing, and now she's not going to be generating leads for the company. I'm going to help her out.
She's going to be converting on those leads.
Let me mentor you. Let me help you. Let me, and I needed that. And so he was awesome, because my first listing was $800,000, and it was
your first listing.
Yes, and it was from my financial advisor. I was like, networking, this is what you do, and I networked.
I got this.
And he sent me an $800,000 listing, and then I called the guy, and because it came recommended from his financial advisor, he's like, yes, meet with me at this time, and I was like,
wait, what?
I'm in over my head. So I walk up to Darren, and I'm like, hey, do you want to do this listing with me? And we'll split the deal. Cause I have no idea what I'm doing. And he's like, sure. But I ended up selling it to my kid's dentist, and we double-sided that deal.
Wow.
Yeah. I sold it to my dentist.
It's all in who you know. It really is. That is awesome.
And so we've been business partners ever since, and we're like yin and yang. He's male, I'm a female. Like we're just opposite, but in our core, we both love our clients, like, and would do anything for them.
You both have the same values, love, and morals of everything.
Yep.
And,
yep.
Boils down to, but you guys both have your different specialties in each.
Yeah.
department.
Yeah.
I love it.
See him a lot in the marketing field because he wants nothing to do with it. All the leads we generate, he's out there all day working. He loves pounding the sand and working. So
after you close that $800,000 deal, where you like, bring me on $1 million, let's get it.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like,
I got this. This is easy. I just called up my dentist one day, and it's done. Maybe I can go to my kid's school.
Yeah, it works.
I'll make some brownies.
Yeah.
For the big sale. Oh, I love it. That's awesome. So you've been in there for like 6-7 years now with a partner, and your business is phenomenal. Like how many are in your team? Because it's you and Darren, and then.
Yeah. So we have me and Darren, and then we have 2 showing agents that help us, and a transaction coordinator.
And then transaction coordinator.
And then I also have, which, we're going to talk about this when we go further, but I also have an intern that works with me on the marketing side of things that helps me implement everything with REN. And then I have my personal assistant, who is like my person. Like, she is my person that, like, if I need to cry, I call my personal assistant. If I need somebody to go pick up my kids, I call my personal assistant. But
I love it.
She helps with all my client care because I trust her with I trust her with my children. I trust her with my clients.
That's huge.
Person. Yeah.
That's really huge. So, yeah. If you are able to find that one person, stick with them, because it's very far and few between that you can find those people that you can trust to that extent.
Exactly.
With your business and your personal, it's huge.
Yeah. She's awesome. She's one of my favorite people. So
like, don't ever leave me.
I know. She actually told me she's following me to my grave. So I was like, okay. So, it's awesome.
I love that. That's awesome, because it's like family, you have that family support. And if you have that family work support, it takes your career to a whole nother level.
It really does. It totally does.
Like, even just working with REN and, my team leaders, my mentor, EP, Scott Tartaglia and Isaiah, like, they've had my back through thick and thin. And I know that, I can go start another company and make what I'm making now or more. But do those people have the passion and
exactly
the, what's the word I'm thinking of? The compassion and what's the word?
I'm trying to think of a good word.
Completely had a brain fart there. The compassion and love for their employees, like, they respect them to know that, like, hey, they're really, working hard, and we want to make them succeed. The best interest is, I want you to make money, and I want you to be top dog. So what can I do to help you get there? And I love that, because I've never worked with a company like that. It was like, oh, you're paying $13 an hour. I'm paying you enough. Go clean the toilets. And I'm like, that's not my job title, man. We got a janitor.
Yeah.
For $13. That's below minimum wage now.
That's exactly right. Well, and I think what's great too is, like, when you're in a good team environment, like my business partner and stuff like that, like, we seek to understand rather than find fault and destroy. And it makes all the difference on how you do business.
It's huge.
It sounds like
it's really huge, because if there's something that doesn't work out, you come together as a team instead of just casting fault, like you said, like, why didn't you do it this way? Instead of, hey, let's look at the stats and see what's going on and what can we do to improve this? Because it's a team thing and it affects everybody. I love that.
Love it.
Well, speaking of REN services, you have been an agent or a client of ours, a rock star agent of ours, I should say, for a couple months now, right?
Yeah, I'm almost on my year mark. Like,
year mark. That's right, because you came on around this time last year.
Yeah, I think I'm in June.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Yeah.
So I remember seeing your name come up as Chrissy Young sale. And I was like, I remember that. That's awesome. And you have our level 3 packages. So you have the coaching and consulting, weekly coaching, and then your marketing coach with us, which is Who is your, I know I looked this up. I should know this. By now. Amy is your marketing coach. She's amazing. Love her too.
She is amazing. Yeah.
And then just everything that we've implemented in our services, you get social marketing, automated video, email, text, everything.
Yeah.
How is it with, our REN services?
And postcards. I'm starting postcards this week too.
Great.
So,
I tell Isaiah, I'm like, everyone's doing all this new age shit. Why don't we start doing I'm sorry for my language. Got really passionate.
I don't care.
I know, I just get really passionate. Everyone's doing all this new stuff of like digital everything. Why don't we go back to the old school days of like newsletters and being in the local newspapers, because nobody's doing that anymore. So your name's gonna pop up more.
Yeah, not a bad idea. It's all about
it's more hand-on, it's manual, like it's in your face.
I know my business partner was so resistant to postcards, and I just told him, I'm like, you gotta understand, I'm a marketing person, and I graduated like in the 90s from marketing and advertising. Postcards are where it's at.
It is though, because nobody gets postcards anymore. Like I don't even get them in my mail anymore, but when I do, I actually read them because I don't get them anymore.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, what's this special?
You're like, oh, a real piece of mail.
Thank you.
It doesn't even have to be anything.
And I got a video email from this person. They really think about me. I'm their favorite person today.
They love me.
Oh my God, I love that. Side note, not just sidetrack, but I'm totally sidetracked right now. Yesterday, it was a rainy day here. I was kind of like, it takes me a few days to wake up for the week to get going and do what I'm supposed to do at work. And I walk into Isaiah's office. He's like, can I just tell you something? I'm like, what? And he's like, you just brighten up my day with your smile and your beauty. I'm like, how did you know I needed to hear that? And then I walk into my other office with the COO, and he's like, you are just so happy and smiley, and it's just contagious. I'm like, man, all these compliments today. It makes you feel special. Everybody wants to feel special and desired. Everybody does. Because if you do, you're like, they really took the time out to think about me. And if you're getting a postcard, a video email, Facebook message, I'm like, man, I'm like their go-to person.
Yeah.
It makes a huge difference, because then when you do call that person, like, hey, you're looking for a house, like, oh, I was waiting for your call.
Yeah. Oh, and you know what? It is, there's so much, like, we'll go into that in detail more, because there is so much good that comes from that. Just yesterday, so we have a whole client care thing we do too, like, and that's why I love REN, because you can plug and play, and you can put REN in and start going, and then it frees me up, right, to do more of like the client care and nurturing about the things. So I have this client, I've like helped them, this is my favorite story about this client too, because I'm a brand new agent. And so I did have a little marketing company that I ran. It was, they are a franchise called Macaroni Kid. And I had bought the franchise, and what it is, it's a family event website where you take all the family friendly stuff in the area and you put it in one place, and you email people and say, hey, here's what's going on in your community. And I did that when I was a stay-at-home mom, because I'm so passionate about community and knowing people. And then I, of course, coming from a marketing background, I always like to be involved in the community. And so I co-created with our local mall an event called Family First Monday. And what it was is we would just have all the local mall people that were there, and they would put out booths, and they could kind of feature their products and talk about it. But then we'd have games for all the kids, and then we had like face painters and balloon artists, and we like do all these events.
So it was kind of like an indoor festival, kind of.
It's outdoor, because we have an outdoor mall. So it was outdoor, and we run it from April until October, and it's so fun. It's still one of my.
Was it like every weekend kind of thing?
It's Family First Monday, so it was the first Monday of each month.
Oh, I love that idea.
Then that's what we would call it. And so anyhow, it's still going. It's fabulous. I love it. I love the people that they've supported that idea, and they've kept it running. And so I got my license, and I was running this marketing company, right? And so that helps me leverage a lot of things. But and so I would do those events, and I would go and I'd set up my game, and Whitney, who's my personal assistant, she was my business partner in that. Nice. And so she would run the game, and I would talk to everybody and say, do you want to buy or sell do you need to buy or sell?
Why not?
And we'd have thousands of families come to this event, and like there was always a line, so I just work all the lines, and I had permission to talk to anybody because I had co-created this event. And so this client, that was my long story, but it's a great marketing tool. If anybody wants to
Love
ask me
it.
more about
That's
it,
a great
have them reach
idea.
out to me. They can do it with their own local malls. I'm telling you, I'll tell them how to sell it. But anyhow,
Ooh, next podcast. Let's
yeah, all the little
continued.
nuggets.
I love it.
So as a brand new agent, it was the 4th of July. I got my license at the end of June. And then by the time I got everything, it was like that weekend, it was 4th of July weekend.
You're like, I
And
got
it was
this.
Family First Monday, because it was on the 4th of July. And it actually had a horrible turnout because everybody goes and does their own family
Right.
things, right? And so there was maybe only like 50 families instead of 1,000.
Right.
And so I set up my little thing, and even my business partner couldn't be there because she was going out with her family. But I was like, I gotta make money.
Right.
I'm
Right.
providing for my family. I gotta do this. And so I'm out there with my little thing, and this cute little couple comes up, and they have one little girl, and I'm like, hey, and they're like, actually, we're thinking about. And so long story short, they were like my first clients that I got myself. They weren't the first ones I got into a house.
Right.
I'd had other things, but like, cause it took a while to find them a home. But
they were your first group of like clients that you worked with.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Oh, and fun side note, they were pregnant and nobody knew, but I knew because she had to keep canceling her appointments. And then I was like, "You're pregnant, aren't you?" And so when they found out the gender of their baby, they gave me the card, and I got to stuff the little piñata that with. And so I was the first one to know that they were having a little girl, and I got to, be there, and I met all their family. Like, so then we helped them buy their house, and they had their first housewarming party, and then they announced to their whole family at their housewarming party that they were having a baby girl. I got to be the person that helped rebuild it, and that was super fun. So I love
to remember that. That's awesome.
It was so fun. So these clients, her birthday was just the other day, so I've helped them buy and sell a few houses now, and now he's like a builder, and I help him with buying lots, and I help him sell his products and stuff. So it's turned out to be this amazing contact, right? But it's about staying in front of them and being a part of their lives and being in that. And so, like I was saying, REN's been awesome because I can get the plug and play going and have that like running itself so that I can take the time for these clients. So I sent, I don't know if crumble cookies, anything back east, but they're like the most delicious cookies. And you can like,
what is it called?
Crumble cookies. Oh, you guys should check them out. They're so good. Anyhow, they're local here to Utah. We love our sugar here because we don't drink as much, so we replace it with sugar.
Of course.
Yeah, we make all kinds of fancy sugar drinks, and then we have really fancy cookies. So I ordered these crumble cookies, and I had them delivered for her birthday, and it's just like
those
so
little
powerful.
Things.
So like, and I love that I can stay in contact. So she like sent me all these pictures and like updated me on her life. And she was just like so grateful that I could do that. And so that's kind of going back to what we were talking about, like when somebody like recognizes you and says, hey, you're special, or you look pretty, or you make right up, like it makes a difference. And that's what, build your business. And REN has really helped me to do that and help me thrive in that area.
Leverage your time so you can spend time building those relationships.
Yeah.
Because I know with a lot of real estate, even with myself, like doing, sales calls or whatever, you're like, oh, I'm just that other person. Like I've reached out to them before, but I'm just that other person trying to sell them something. You need to look at it more as, I want to help them. I want to be a part of their life. Like, yeah, great connection. I want to be your best friend. Let's do this podcast once a week because I just love chatting with you. Like, there's so many amazing people out there, and just really taking the time, leveraging your time, not doing all the random stuff that isn't important, but meeting people. Like that's the whole purpose of us being alive, is meeting and building these connections and relationships and connecting with people's souls, and, really relating to them, because we all have had our stories. We've all had our trials and tribulations, and it's, learning from how we overcome those, that we learn and grow. And I love it. Like you love that relationship of even my sister, she sold her house and she still stays in contact with her real estate agent because she just had that connection. She's like, this is your forever home. Like I can just see you here, and just really relating to those people.
Yes.
There's such a disconnect with social media and, not to get off of marketing and everything, but everyone's in their phones. Nobody knows how to talk to each other. And we all need to just understand that we're not perfect. We're all in this, all in this together. And we all came on this world we're born not knowing what to expect. There's no manual for anything. And you learn and grow from the relationships that you have. And I love that, Chrissy. Like, you're just a personable person, and I just love talking to you because we have a lot in common.
I know.
We've been talking for hours, and they're all like, "We're not recording. We need to record this." I say, "Oh, you heard nothing. We haven't been talking for nearly as long as I say."
Yeah.
But no, I love it because I feel like you're the same personality as me. I want to help people. I want them to be happy. I want them to feel they're important. And that's what you need to do, because people love being admired and desired and thought of. And just those little touches, like you said, even with our REN services, just leveraging your time so you can spend time nurturing those relationships.
Yes.
It's huge.
So perfect. So the main reason I got REN.
I just talked your ear off.
Oh, I don't care. I love it.
We're chatting Kathy over here.
I'll listen to you. You listen to me.
I love it.
And the poor people who have to listen to the whole conversation.
I know. They're like, all right, these two ladies are crazy.
So here, I'll give you, this is for the listeners, a nugget right now. Let's give that about REN and kind of like why I went with REN. So kind of like I told you guys, my background is in marketing and advertising, and I've only been doing it 6 years. Obviously, I know how to generate leads, but I was paying for leads a lot through Zillow. And Zillow, back in its day, man, it was like a cash cow. I would like,
it was huge.
We had so many leads coming in. What I was feeling was anxiety because I'm a marketing person and I've done sales for years. And I'll tell you something, when you're in sales and you're like cashing in and you're making tons of money,
right?
The people, whoever those people are that are assisting you to make tons of money, they tend to see how much money you're making and they'll adjust your commissions or they'll adjust things because you're making too much money off of their product. Or like I've always was a top salesperson. I always made Presidency Club when I was like working for Franklin Covey. And so I'd knock the goals out of the park and then they'd go, oh, she's making too much money. And they change my commission.
You're like, whoa.
Yeah. So maybe I'm a little pessimist that way. And I try not to be, but so here we are, Zillow's just making it rain. We're making all this money. And so like the best way I can describe it is Darren and I are just like, taking all the low-hanging fruit and we're trying to take care of them. We don't want to how we treat our clients is such a value to us. But then when you're doing all of these deals and you're trying to do everything
there's
yourself,
no balance.
You like, I was up till 2 a.m. I'd put on like, I hate to admit it, close to 100 pounds. I've lost most of that now, but like I had just, because I wasn't functioning. I was just, and then here's the other thing. My marketing brain was going crazy because I'm like, I'm just harvesting the low hanging fruit. That's all I'm doing, taking all the low hanging fruit. And I'm a marketing person and I see that there's all this fruit in the tree that needs nurturing, that if I can put them into a system and filter them through, they're going to keep me feeding for a lifetime, but I'm not even getting to it. And so it was driving me insane.
Because that's a lot. That's a lot to do.
So much. And
you're just going all over, like
all over the place.
But then you feel guilty because you're not giving these people the attention that they need, that you want to give them, but you want to market these people. It's just,
oh yeah, totally. So I'm just
family,
I just felt like I was a cat chasing my tail, and getting dizzy and falling over, and you know what? It wasn't pretty. Like I pride myself in doing a good job, and I was upset with myself because we were just. And yeah, we were making tons of money. We did 120 deals one year, like, and everything, but I hardly slept. So
you can agree it wasn't fulfilling.
Yeah. Well, and I wasn't making the connections like I want to. And that's connections important to me. And so I just sat down with my business partner and like burst into tears one day. And I was like, I can't keep doing this. It's affecting every part of my family, my personal life, myself, like everything. And we're not doing a great job. And I hate that we're not doing a good job because we're the best agents. We're good.
Mm-hmm.
And so that when we started hiring a couple of people
Now that
that
you're good,
helped,
you could do better, and you know you could.
yes, and it was so frustrating.
That's frustrating.
So in my mind, I started saying, okay, I'm going to build a client care thing to let all my clients, because that was another thing. I'd get so attached to these cute little families and they leave and they do their thing. And life is just life. But I'm like, what am I, chopped liver? But then
But
at
the
the same
little piece
time,
of you
I'm not
gone because you've
reaching out
invested
to
that.
them. Yeah.
Mhm.
And so like, I'm like, how do I let them all know that like you were not just a paycheck to me? I really genuinely care about you, right? And so like there's all of this stuff. So I was like, okay, I've got to get my client care in. I've got to do these things. I had a vision of everything I wanted to do. And again, I come from a marketing background. I worked with bloggers. I understand influencing, all of that. I had my little community stuff I was doing. And so I have all these dreams and things I want to do to take all that, harvest all that fruit up on the
And
tree.
help those people.
Yes, and help
You're
the
a helper.
people
I
along.
love it because you have
Yeah.
that. Like, I want
And
to.
yeah. And so I was so frustrated. And then we got a call from Alex. He's the one that brought me in originally. And then they hooked me up with Scott. And Scott will tell you, I was not an easy sell. He spent so many hours because I was like, now wait a minute, tell me about this. Tell me about that. But that's because I had a vision. And so I was like, I probably nitpicked it a little more than the average
You were just
person.
trying to go through your boxes of what you wanted and check mark what was being offered. Because
Exactly.
why waste your time if you're not going to do that?
So here's a big thing I want to tell people looking at your product. They all want to go in, and this is total real estate. So my business partner Darren was, how many leads is it going to give me? How are you going to feed me? Are you going to feed me as good as Zillow? And I'm sitting here going, dude, Zillow's going to change. And it did, by the way, and it is. And I'm like, and I knew it. I could feel it coming. And I was like, we have all our eggs in one basket. We've got to diversify. You know where things are going to be, our past clients. And lucky for us, because Zillow was such a cash cow, we have tons and tons of past clients, and we have tons of leads that came in from there. And so what am I doing with all of that? How am I working all of that? And so I just kind
you're
of
looking at it like, I know there's business here.
Yes.
How am I going to get in front of these people?
Oh,
what am I going to do for them to know that I'm around? And
yeah. And I don't have time to sit there and do this all day long.
Nobody does.
Try and hire agents to do it. They don't represent you as well. There's so many things about it, but I was just like frustrated. Oh, it's still frustrating. So Darren wanted to know how many leads they were going to get. I always have seen REN as the plug and play to alleviate all my stress so I can be the best person I can be. And the natural byproduct of that is I'm doubling my business right now. Like, here we are in this market where everything's unsettled and crazy. And I hit my first quarter goal and I was double where I wanted to be. Okay. It's because I just thought, well, Isaiah challenged me, hey, think about your vision. And I'm like,
write out your vision plan that I've stored.
And I was like, okay, Isaiah, I'm going to think about this. So, and this is just in one of the trainings that he had, like, because we do that, like, I have signed on to have that training where you do the group training.
The mastermind.
Yeah. A mastermind group. And so I just went to a mastermind group, and my coach, my like Amy, it was Nate at the time. Now I have
marketing coach.
But yeah. So he was like, okay, I have 2 challenges for you this week. And I'm a person of my word. And he's like, go to these mastermind classes. I'm like, oh, I don't have time. I'm so busy. And then he's like, and when you're there, you have to ask one question. You have to ask one question. I'm like, I don't want to. I'm just telling people the truth. Like,
he's the parent that holds you accountable, because it's not a silver bullet where it's work. However, it's not the leads that are coming in, it's how you're building those relationships with those leads. Because referrals, I'm key with referrals. I came working for this place trying to invite people to events. It wasn't even our challenges and boot camps. It was when we were doing some other event.
Yeah.
And when someone gave me an objection, no, I don't want to go. I'm like, perfect. You have 10 people that would like to go. I would just knock out referrals because I just got to know them. And I was like, I completely understand you don't want to go. That's great. But do you know someone else who could benefit? And it's huge because it's warm. And you call that person like, hey, Joe, so-and-so referred you over to me because they think that, oh, okay, yeah, I'll sign up. They don't know anything, you know, and it's amazing because you build those relationships that way. So it's not how many leads you have coming in, it's how you're taking care of those leads.
So true. So true. And there's so much. And I did, when I first got on REN, there's a lot that goes on, like, and it's all in the playbook. And I love Isaiah's like, anytime you feel stressed, Chrissy, just go back to the playbook. I'm like, okay. And it really does. It grounds you. That playbook is awesome. There's a couple of things people need to realize. We don't have to reinvent real estate. It's pretty much cut and dry what you need to do. And I learned this in marketing a long time ago. Like we design campaigns and we try to bring people in, but statistics tells you whether or not it's working, right? And everything's a number.
Tracking your numbers.
So we would track all our numbers on everything. And so that's kind of how I look at everything I do, is I'm tracking it and see how it's going, you know, and if it's working, great. If not. But the other thing that is great about that, and this is what's so beautiful, if you use the full program of REN, is it's the law of numbers. So Isaiah has taken the time to figure out the law of numbers. He's put it into practice. And now he has gotten certain results and literally has made millions. So
and he holds his team to that. Every morning we have to go through our KPIs and what we're going to track for that day. But our numbers are, you have no, it's like, I'm like, you were number boot camp and I was horrible math. Like, I can't.
It's all about numbers. And different people have conversion rates and stuff like that. At the beginning of my real estate business, I was, sorry, my husband's talking to me.
Hi, husband. I've learned so much about you.
Yeah, you have today. So anyhow, it's the law of statistics, you know, and if you make so many phone calls, you're going to have a conversion. I've met some of the most boring still real estate agents that are knocking it out of the park. You know why? Because they do this all day long, all day long, and they know their numbers and they know their statistics and they know which of their things they're using gets them better results, and then they just work with it. So the thing that I loved is Isaiah has figured that out. He has a system. And here's the truth. If you follow the playbook and you do what it said, you will get the same results. And I think it's really important for people to realize that you should never divert and say, I'm different. My market's this or that. You do exactly what you're told and you'll get the same results. And then once you've mastered it and you're getting the results and you've got your little rhythm going, that's when you customize it, right? So that's what I think is huge to realize. And so that, like, that first get on with REN, I'm starting to plug and play and do everything, and it's overwhelming and things feel disconnected and all of that. It takes time. And then we get it all up and running, which, by the way, the team is amazing to help you as much as you possibly can to get up and running. But once you do get it up and running, like my husband, we joke about this because he's like, how come you're home so much right now?
REN is leveraging my time and I have time for it. So don't annoy me. What's for dinner?
Home, are you making me money? If you're home, are you making me money? Like, we joke about that, you know? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm making you money, but I'm doing more of it from home, and I'm generating way more listings. I have 13 listings this month going across the board. You know,
are you on our listing challenge?
No, I'm just doing it on my own. I need to get on the listing challenges. I'm still implementing.
I'll plug you in.
Make me accountable for one
thing. I got you, girl. I'll plug you in.
Yay!
And our winner this month is Chrissy Young.
I feel like it's cheating if I already have 13 on the books, but man, I should do it. I was just thinking that I need to really plug into these listing, but honestly, it's just following the system, following the playbook, and that's what I've been.
Hey, when it's your time to do the listing challenge, it's your time, and you'll know it.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
I have big dreams. I have big dreams. So
Oh, I love
yeah,
it.
so that's what I think is important is when people are thinking about this product, don't go in thinking how many leads. I will say though, we went through the database detox and it's hard. It hurts your soul a little because you feel like I have blood, sweat, and tears that I put into this database. And all of a sudden people are saying, do not describe, do not, you know, like, and they're dropping you like crazy and they're telling you to F off. They're telling you all this
Everything.
stuff. And I'm like, oh, but I had to remind myself, like, one, I wasn't touching them before. And if I was, they just don't want to do real estate. But guess what happened within, I don't know, the first 2 weeks we started putting out data. Like the people who were interested that I had never gotten to had rose to the top. And so right off the bat, I got a couple, like right off the bat. And so then I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever. But then you go through that and then it's got to build the system. So you've got to keep going. And so then it felt like I went through a low a little bit, but that's because I was plugging and playing, getting everything in place.
It takes time. With anything, it takes time.
Yeah.
There's no instant results with anything.
You got to build that pipeline. Exactly. And now, like I'm telling you, I just going into this year, I'm like, which was my goal, right? 2022 was going to be my year. I was going to I kept telling myself, I'm not going to get stressed and frustrated. I'm going to take the time to plug this in and get it up and going so that 2022, it will just be
on the path you're supposed to be on.
Yep. And it's been awesome. It's good. So
well, I love it. Well, Chrissy, I'm so grateful and happy that you were able to join me today because this has been amazing and I love it. And I'm not a real estate agent, but like you've inspired me. I use the playbook. It's our Bible here at work.
Oh yeah.
I've read through it. I don't know how many times, mostly proofreading it. But I love it because the insight in this book it's stupid simple. Like literally today, post this, and that's all you have to do. And breaking down, it's so easy and simple. And like I said, I'm so happy that I got to do this podcast with you because we've had a connection.
Yes, it's been so fun.
And I'm looking forward to many more with you. And everyone who's listening today, our playbook, it's our 2022 sales and marketing playbook. You can join or look at it for free on our REN dashboard. Just go to realestatenexus.io/dashboard, log in with your Facebook and Google, and then go down to, I believe it's our additional like assets or something.
I think it's just under playbook. I think it now says
under playbook.
When you go on the dashboard and go down.
Yeah. But we will also drop the link in here so it's easy access. But definitely check it out because you and your team would love it. It's for everybody. Not even if you're not even in real estate, just to have a structure in your life and business in general. It's amazing. Oh,
I've referred several friends. Like, I'm like, you've got to see this model. It's beautiful. And it's so simple and true. Like truth is truth, right? Like, and
the numbers speak numbers.
And numbers speak numbers. And I love that there's a couple of outliers that can look in and say, oh, this is how it needs to go. I'm not that person, but I'm great at implementing and like
me too.
And doing, and I get the results. But I'm telling you, the biggest thing, you've got to do it. Don't try and do anything different. Don't try and diversify it. You got to just follow the path. And then once your system's running, that's when the creativity can come into personal.
And you can add things to it. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Chrissy, so much for joining us. And she's in Utah. What market area are you in?
I mainly handle the Wasatch Front is what we call it. All of Utah, all of the metropolitan and suburb cities all around there. So
we'll drop your link to your website, your real estate website here.
I would love that.
You can share if anyone's looking in the area for a house. She's amazing. She really knows people and can relate and will really find you your forever home. I love you. Let's just talk once a week because I just love talking to you.
Well, we can. We need to become
perfect.
Yeah, I would love that.
I love it.
All right.
Thank you so much, Chrissy, and everyone else. We will see you next week on our REN podcast. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.